Last night, a couple of times in the conversations, there was reference to wheels, wheels of spinning, karmic wheels, genetic wheels, habitual wheels. In that, attention gets locked up and narrowed and limited. This is what's referred to as bondage or samsara. And the breaking loose of that, the penetration of the groove, the habit, then frees attention. There's pleasure, of course, in the attainment, as desire for freedom, desire for love. These are desires that swallow all desires. Without knowing what the result will be. victims of our own self-hatred, our self-victimization. Mysteriously chosen lifelines where there arises the desire for what gets called enlightenment or truth. This desire is of altogether different order. And it's true. All the other desires can be satisfied by some activity of mind. So that the impulse, the hunger impulse that arises then naturally gives rise to the desire to be fed. And then this gives rise to the activity, generally unconscious activity of what it takes to be fed. All creatures, all kingdoms, nothing wrong with that. But once the creature has been fed and sheltered and matured to a certain degree, it's actually possible for what gets called higher levels of desires, but let's just call them more subtle. Rather than higher and lower, just more subtle, that's all. So the desire for knowledge and the desire for power and the desire and yet they are still of a certain order, so they are fed by activity of mind. And they're satisfied by activity of mind. And then in this blessed lifeline where there arises the desire for enlightenment, of course there are many attempts to feed that desire in the normal way that other desires have been fed. And surely you have experienced some of that. That no matter how much you try, no matter how much you figure, no matter how much you get what it is that's being said or has been said, whatever you try to do, which is mind activity, you cannot find what is called self or God. Because desire is really projecting into the future. The impulse of hunger may be appearing in the present, but the desire is to get something so that in the future, whether that future be the next moment, that future is always It will not be satisfied by anything, gross or subtle, even the most subtle, exquisite thing. And by thing, I mean anything that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So I mean states of mind, thoughts, understandings, insights, experiences, sensations, conclusions, on and on. This realization itself, that this desire for freedom, for truth, for God, will not be satisfied by anything in the future, is what most people avoid, because it is so radical, because it means that this desire for truth, enlightenment, or God is not just a toy of your mind. It's not just a thing to enrich your life or your sense of yourself, or to feed your feelings, your high feelings, and keep your low feelings at bay. I mean when I say that disillusionment is essential. The realization that no matter what I try to do, I cannot get it. And if it appears to me, I cannot keep it. I cannot capture it, and I desire to.
Session really showed so clearly in a couple of instances This is
It's more ruthless.
Because I don't offer that. I don't have that to give you. There are enough wonderful paths out there.